Hey everybody, we're back. This is Band of Badgers. I am Dave, your host and your light keeper for our big finale session as we get to play. We're doing Candela. If you didn't already know, you can read it up there. Look, there it is. Candela Obscura, the Express Train to Hell from Beadle Grimm's. And just to kind of reiterate again, if you, for some reason, if you missed part 1 and 2, you need to go back. Otherwise, this will not make sense. But this is part 3. This is playtest material. So if you are thinking of getting this book, it is fantastic. I'm sure it is. I don't know. I'm just playtesting it. I'm sure it is.
How confident we are.
All of that stuff is great. Yeah, we'll go. Do make sure you pick it up because it is gonna be fantastic. I don't know. So we're gonna pick up where we left off. Players, we're gonna quick round the table. Let's go the other way this time. Steve, no, Steve, how you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Yep. Where is
Matt,
it?
Matt, there. Look, it's Matt.
There.
Hello,
Matt.
I'm here. Look, no,
Matt.
go this way.
There you go, Ross.
Hello.
What he needs to do is let you lot do the finger pistols because I get them wrong. There's Steve. As I just stepped head blown off the screen. There's Joe. Joe's on mute. Joe is still on mute.
Joe's going to talk to us in smoke signals.
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good, thank you.
Joe is not blurry. He is foggy.
It's like that scene in Predator 2 where the Jamaican guy opens the window.
He's setting the scene.
Yeah. And then Steph. No, not Steph. Over there. Steph. There we go.
Hi.
Now, we're going to do a quick player recap as well. So we've had 2 episodes already. We've come back to finish this one off. This is the big ending. How are you guys feeling about this at the moment? So a quick roundtable on the story so far and what items, what connections are you making? What the hell do you think is going on right now? Don't all speak at once. Great answer.
We're all being polite.
Well, I thought you'd come on the table. I mean, I can say that last session I picked up an amulet that was around someone's neck. I mean, I guess technically I've got an amulet and I've got half a corpse in my hands right now. But
the question is, which one are you going to drop?
Oh,
that's what we need to find out.
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, I think this amulet is some kind of key to some kind of ritual. But that's as far as I've got so far.
I think me and New Arthur are going to be best of friends.
New and improved.
We should call him Arthur Gray, I think.
Oh, that's very good.
Oh, is it?
I keep calling him Dr. Crawford, so I'm not going to change it now. But he's got, instead of jazz hands, he's got jelly hand. It's like, what else?
We've got part of an ancient parchment with a teleportation ritual, but which cannot be performed without the rest of it. Where is it? We don't know. We got to find it.
And wasn't that stuff? And there was a damaged diary. And the damaged diary mentions the amulet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the person that wrote the diary had lost his nerve. He wasn't brave enough to face the void. And
do you remember what the amulet is supposed to do?
It's supposed to destroy the blood mouth, which has been removed from the outside world.
Which is a gateway to hell.
It's a sentient gateway to hell.
Yeah.
He was hoping that somebody in the future might be brave enough to use the amulet, but it didn't specify how the amulet was supposed to be used necessarily.
Yeah.
That he'd not been brave enough to face the void.
It's my precious now.
And there was 12 living sacrifices that were required as well, wasn't there? And we think we're up to at least 10.
Yeah.
And
well,
maybe 11 soon.
Did we decide on whether it was 12 in one go or it was a
I think we said from the song that we sort of thought that they all need to be done at the same time.
Yeah.
So the other 10 could still be alive.
Could still be alive somewhere. So, I mean, possibly further down this tunnel on the other side of the cave in, if there's a way. Or
definitely find a way.
You will find a way.
Another way.
Life finds a way.
Right. Well, let's crack on, shall we? Because we're
One thing is Arthur Grey, whether he'll be friendly or non-friendly.
He's in a bit of a pickle.
I
So
think he looks fine.
So what happened in the last session, if I remember correctly, because it was so long ago, was you for some reason Dr. Crawford was soaring through a dead body to release it from a caving. Arthur was kind of had the top off.
Can we say that a different way, right? So what we were doing was we was desecrating a corpse that was half buried to go and take it somewhere else
to bury it. Yeah.
Well, no, to present it
no,
to the
I think,
partner who was lost to go, here's 3/4 of your wife.
Have we verified it's actually Dot? We've got photos of Dot, haven't we?
No,
is it even Dot?
We don't know.
No, you guys found the photos.
It's
We have
too badly decomposed. Yeah.
We went straight for hacksaw, chop it off, bring it back to people, and say, "There you go, you're welcome."
I did really enjoy how the mentality went. A woman must be the missing wife. Let's back her up.
Because we know the geologist was called Maggie.
Yeah.
And they found the body in the geo tent, haven't they? Which is, I'm assuming is a geologist tent.
No, we didn't put
I bet
that
it's
together.
not even
No.
Dot.
No, I love the way that like Josiah and Polly were like picking up the photos in the photo albums. You know, they look kind of like the silver frame twin set kind of thing. That's what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
And yeah, Arthur and Dr. Crawford going there. Let's take the top off. We'll take that back. And the memento. We found her.
It's the same level of sentiment, surely.
Definitely.
Here is half your partner's decomposed dead body.
We were like,
We've disturbed.
No, that's not my partner, actually.
We'll pop it up in the chair for you.
Oh, it's not your partner. All right, we'll just go put it back.
We sew it back together again.
Actually, I spent the point in taxidermy.
It's where someone says they've got a taxidermy kit in their gear.
Do you know what? Dr. Crawford's going to pull it out right now.
Look, it's a fox. Oh, fun. Yeah, fun.
Right. Are we ready? We ready to go back in now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
We're
Okay,
ready.
let me try and cue some music in the background. Let me know if it's too loud for you all. For those of you watching it on YouTube, if it's too loud for you, tough. I can't change it now.
Change your browser settings.
Yep. Let's turn it down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so
I thought the fan had kicked into high speed.
So the so as we said, Dr. Crawford is busy hacking this body in half. Arthur is kind of picking it up from under the arms and dragging it backwards. Where you notice the amulet, he's picked up the amulet. As the body has separated, finally, this puddle ooze has flopped out from under all this brickwork cave in and starts to grow. This head comes out, the shoulders come out, and it turns into a humanoid form, 2 arms, 2 legs. But the arms, like we heard in very opening of the first session, is long and extend, like 5-foot arms, 2.5 foot on each one, with a joint in the middle as the wrists are kind of leaning on the floor. You both hear. Dr. Crawford then bursts out into screaming pain, grabs his head as that noise is a bit loud, isn't it? I'll let you control that, Steve, because I'm going to do some bits. So as that happens, this thing changes from there's 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, and a blob into it's like it's vac packed. All the detail comes into it, and it looks an exact replicant of Arthur. And it speaks when it looks at you, and it says, "Followers of Horus, I feel you. I know you have your precious master's trinket. Do you dare to face me? Then come to me now. And then this creature slashes out at you, Arthur. What do you wish to do as we're now in combat?
He slashes at me, not Crawford, me.
No, slashes at you. 5 for arms.
Okay, it's pretty long. Okay, well, straight away then, I'm going to try and dodge out of the way using a move skill. Where we? I got a mixed success on all of the dice.
Okay. I'm going to say you managed to get out of the way, but you trip and hit the floor. You trip over, you trip over the body. You just in your haste to get away.
What a mishap!
Now, what I'm going to do is just let it do, like, this isn't like a initiative order or anything. I'm going to let you do as a free-for-all. I've had my go. Arthur has kind of fallen down onto the floor as he scrambles to get back up. What does anyone else want to do? And Josiah and Polly and Bert, you've all heard the scream. What do you want to do?
Bert will immediately start going out, and as he does, he takes off his hat and his jacket and puts it in his satchel. So he's just got his shirt on and his trousers and shoes, obviously. And he will go out. And
1 second, I'll take my shoes off.
and he will start heading that way as quickly as he possibly can, but being careful because he is a bit elderly.
Okay.
I'm going to say that Arthur's kind of like army crawling out of the tent right now, and as he's kind of shouting, "Run! Yeah! Crawford!"
Yeah.
What is it? Arthur, what is it? Is it Crawford? Has he lost it?
It's me! No, it's Crawford! I don't...
It's alright, take a breath, use your words. What's going on?
Long arms!
You start to see the tent, like the tent flaps part as his incredibly long grey arms just kind of peel. The tent flaps back, and this Arthur Grey steps out with his just elongated arms. And you hear in the tent Dr. Crawford screaming.
So Bert has gone past Arthur to get beyond him. He pulls up his sleeves that have no buttons or cuffs and reveals these tattoos that go all up his arm that are all of occult symbols. And he's going to try and channel the occult as he pushes these symbols together and thrusts it at the creature as he says, "Invoco in potential veterum diorum, non est volute, ego principio tibi relinquo hoc locus, habite," which is Latin.
Very nice.
And it'll be sense. And I'm going to guess that this is quite a high stake roll, Dave.
I will say yes. Go for it.
Cool. I'm going to use 2 drives then for this as well. If it goes wrong, I'm going to use my resistance. Cool. The best is a partial success, which I think I'm going to take because I think he'll take the consequences of that.
Okay. It's a partial success. Let's do the success part first. What happens?
So as he hits these symbols, these arcane symbols, and says these ritualistic words, a light flashes out towards this creature, trying to push it back, mainly to give people time to move as opposed to anything else. Not trying to hurt it, but trying to push it back so it can't come at anyone.
Okay, so as this energy hits this creature, you do see it almost like a wave has struck through the water. But then slowly, this is the T1000. It starts to repair itself, but just not as cool. The graphics aren't as great. As it comes back, and you see Arthur just take another step towards you. The arms extend. It did hurt it.
I will step towards it, try and protect Bert in a way. I look down and realise I've got the crowbar still in my hand that we had when I was opening the crate from inside. I'm just going to swing at its head with the crowbar.
Okay, go for a strike.
I'm going to use a drive.
Yeah.
That's a partial success, 5.
Okay. Right, it's already damaged anyway, so before it can reform, what are you going to do? You're going to step up and...
I'm going to step up, and as it's reforming, knowing that this is essentially made of the water stuff, I guess, that we covered Dr. Crawford in from the other tunnel, I'm just going to smash at it and try and make it splash into a puddle again on the floor to lose its cohesion, lose its form.
Okay. You smash into it, and yes, the effect you're after happens. It just that whatever it is force is holding it together is gone, and this is just water, grey water, splashes back down onto the ground and starts to kind of form into a puddle. Every now and then has a little bit of a bubble. But well done. That is the end of whatever this creature was.
Does my brain pain stop?
As soon as the creature is done, yes, the screaming in your head fades.
Cool.
I'm going to run into the tent and look for Dr. Crawford. Doc, you alright?
See me like literally just getting up off the floor with like my hands on my head, just like it was in my mind. I could feel it in my brain, screaming.
Well, that's not very nice.
What I will say, to clarify, it wasn't that creature.
Mm-hmm.
It's something else.
Yeah,
something.
Sure.
It's almost like you feel a pull behind this wall, and whatever evil is in there is big and malevolent.
I'll sort of relay that to Polly that it's. I think whatever's causing this is beyond this wall, but I fear that it is very dangerous.
I don't know what that was.
So, do we think that maybe the puzzle creatures are just sort of like what, minions?
Minions, protectors, possibly.
But now that we've seen one, in the flesh, I guess be the best description. Do you remember anything else about the Bloodmouth? Does it have servants? Because I'm not imagining this dirty great gate is very mobile and moves around a lot. So is it using these things to collect its victims?
But we'll try and remember. But just after this creature is good down, Bert has to sit on the ground as he is very tired. As that's taken out of him quite a bit. Let me have a little think about it. And I'm going to do a focus if that's all right.
Yeah.
I would give you some drive, but I've got none left.
Yeah, I've only got 2.
An intuition, anyway.
I can give you one if you want.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'm doing 3 dice, 1's gilded.
Down to 1.
So I'm going to take the gilded dice because it's a failure anyway on all of them.
Does that mean I get back? Because of
you get yours back.
Yeah.
And I get 1 back plus my gilded dice. I think. I can't. I'm just very tired, Josiah. Just give me a minute. It takes a lot out of me. And his skin looks visibly slightly grayer as he sits there.
Okay.
So, what equipment is at this camp? You said there was lots of pieces of equipment that were still here.
Yes.
Obviously, it had been left behind, so Waswood and Sons had taken the commercial hit on that. Is there any equipment here that would allow us to dig through the cave-in to get further down the tunnel?
What can you do what's an intelligence check on this?
So I have an ability called Scout. That if you have time to observe a location, you can spend. I have to spend 1 intuition that I don't have, so I can't do anything because I've
do a survey roll, which is
I'll do a survey roll. Yeah,
I'll give you a drive for that, just so.
Thank you. So I'll have a good look round at everything. Cave in, the equipment that's here. I got a 4 on the gilded dice, so that does give me 1 intuition back. So thank you very much. It's a partial success.
Pleasure. Okay. Right. So, yes, there are some tools available, mechanical tools as well, not just shovels and pickaxes, that kind of stuff, but there are proper industrial digging tools. Yeah. But the biggest thing to bear in mind is this is a cave-in.
Yeah.
Now, what you don't have the skills for is to secure that as you go.
That's fine. So I have an idea.
Okay.
I'm thinking, Bert, right, that if whatever we need to get to is on the other side of this cave, and the equipment is here to do that, and it does look like we can use some of this equipment to get through, but we're going to need some assistance. So I think we need to go back and speak to Miss Edith, give her all the stuff we found, let her know that we found this diary note and the amulet that Arthur's found and these strange creatures around, and maybe try and convince her to get a couple of the lads in, use this equipment and get us through the cave in so we can get down the other end of the tunnel.
Suppose if you can't go forward, you have to go backwards sometimes. Yes.
We might not have to go all the way back. Time is of the essence in it. We've got, because we don't know how many souls it's collected. I might have a little trick up my sleeve where I could perhaps make myself appear maybe like management or something, which could maybe get us a couple of burly boys.
Oh, you're talking about Dave and Dave.
Oh, Dave and Dave. I'm assuming there's like about 6 other Daves that we could maybe get on board as well. But
Probably.
It's a really
Oh, the Daves.
I'll just make a note. 6 days.
6 days. If we can ensure to get Mr. Brick either preoccupied or, I don't know, somewhere else, I could potentially put myself in his place.
Right, so we just ran up whoever's at the camp in the mess hall, whoever's there, get him here, and hopefully one of them sort of knows about mining stuff.
I mean, it's, and if that fails, then we can further down the tunnel.
And who's to say that if we were to leave this area, we don't come back and it's waiting for us in all sorts of different ways. It already addressed us as followers.
Followers of who? Sorry.
I didn't quite get the name, unfortunately. I was a bit of a pickle trying to escape a flying arm, and I fell over a dead body that, well, to be honest, we were cutting up to bring back to Edith.
I feel like we should move on from that and probably not.
No, I'm going to circle back to that. Having seen the photos of Dot, looking at that body, are there any kind of like distinguishing features amongst the decomposition that would suggest that's Dot?
I'm going to say no.
Oh.
Okay. Now, if history taught us anything, it's that maybe men shouldn't go hacking up random women's bodies, lads. All right? It's not a good image.
I think the good intent was there, but no, I understand, Polly. That does make a lot more sense of what we did.
I think the heart was in the right place. Maybe
Yes.
the bone saw goes away for a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Have we seen the amulet, by the way, Arthur?
Yes. Here's the amulet. I found this. I touched this, and it seemed to, as I did, it triggered all the events that just took place. It's almost like it made the cavern shake, and more boulders or rubble fell from above, and this material started to build up around Crawford over there. And it was only when I saw my own face and the arm come towards me that I knew that something was amiss.
Oh, excellent. Bert's going to get his hat out. He's not going to touch this amulet. But just pop it in their head for me, Arthur, and I'll have a quick look to see if there's anything I recognise.
Oh, well, yes, okay. Just drops it in.
Are there any markings or anything or engravings on the amulet?
Yep. It is a V-shaped amulet, and it's all nicely engraved. Very, very stylistic of the time, but it is very, very old.
And is it stylistic, or is it like something looks like something might be written on it?
No, it's stylistic. There's no. It doesn't contain magic glyphs or a language, but it is in the shape of a V.
Can I try and see if I remember what that V might be?
Okay.
Success on a 6.
I think you're gonna remember something from the diary you found.
You would think that, wouldn't you? I can only put that memory down.
Well, the diary talked about an amulet.
Oh yeah. Like, I've totally figured that out already. There's obviously the amulet that we're looking for. I'm really happy with that. But there's nothing. The V isn't symbolic of anything, or isn't linked to anything the cult that I know about.
Vecna.
Yeah, Vecna. If you haven't, we see Vecna here. We see Vecna there. If you haven't remembered, or no one's made a note of it, then no.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I know you're getting at. Okay. It's a very pretty amulet. Arthur, have you got a handkerchief to put it in, and you can take
Can
it back?
we have another look at the diary then?
Are you on up on screen?
Yeah, please.
But yeah, so he gets a hanky out, he takes it back, he kind of rubs his head as well, like, yeah, I'll take that. Just put it back in his pocket.
Try not to touch it, or you'll turn into a water person.
Yeah, yes.
So the V could be void.
It's void.
Would be an opening or a crack.
We might have to look further to get its meaning.
Okay, right, thank you, Dave.
Let's see what else we got.
Oh yeah, what was on her note? What was on Maggie's note? Right, so they found here are the items from the strange corpse. So that's the diary and the teleportation ritual.
Yeah.
Cavern we revealed doesn't seem to be natural in formation. Don't see how it can be man-made either. So they're saying the TBM was here. There's no TBM at this camp, is there?
Not in this half. Remember this. You're in the red line. The camp that you're in. The ceiling collapse has collapsed on it.
There aren't any explosives around, are there?
Are you gonna like search around and look for?
As soon as I got my intuition point back, I'm going to spend my intuition point to do the scout skill, please. I'm going to spend a few minutes just looking around at everything. And I will ask the question, what do I notice here that others do not see? And the intent is how we get past this cave-in to what's further down the tunnel.
So in my head, as you've been exploring this, you haven't explored around the tents. You've gone to 2 specific tents. You've gone inside each one. You've noticed there are crates and stuff that's just been dropped on the floor, and then people have evacuated. When you go deeper in and you're looking around, I'm going to say what you find is like an old-fashioned dynamite plunger.
A detonator.
Yeah, the box and the handle you plunge down, and then some wires.
Yeah.
And they go under the cave-in.
Right. So question back to you then: is that plunger up or down?
It's down. I would say it's down, but if you pick it up, it freely moves.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been used.
It's been used, yes.
So, right. Here's a theory then. This plunger here, that would have set off a detonation.
Mm-hmm.
If they were already way down the tunnel, like they are with the other line, the dig site's well away from the camp. Why would the detonator be this far back? And it's being used, and the cave-in's happened. So has the cave-in been deliberate, not accidental?
I think it
Did they
very
find
well.
something and collapse the tunnel to stop that something from getting back here?
Was that something Edith mentioned? I think about some explosion. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not sure though. I don't think that a detonator being down would always indicate it has been used. It could just not be set yet. It's a good path of thought.
But it's wired up. It's the wires go up the tunnel underneath the cave-in. I understand what you're saying. That it is an indication that it's being used, but why would you wire one up? You wouldn't connect the wires unless you were going to make a detonation, would you? I mean, that's safety rule number one.
Anti-productive, yes.
Yes, Edith did say that the explosion did cause the cave-in.
And they've moved on very, very quickly. We know that old Brick is desperate for that bonus. He's desperate to do what he's got to do. They've literally just moved location down and are going 5 to the dozen down there. They weren't stopping for no one. Usually something like that, surely that's an investigation, time to clear, time to make safe again, but they've just forged on.
But I think I can confidently say we're not getting through here without some mechanical assistance, which means we need some miners. I think we need to go back to the other camp and find some people.
Also, to keep in mind as well, there's no active electricity down here. So if we are to use the bigger instruments, we need to somehow again get that all wired up and working.
Could I just quickly do a search for any kind of like in crates and tents and things for any remaining explosives that might be hanging around, like unused? Sure. That's a fail.
Okay. Unfortunately, you have a look in various crates and you find no useful explosives or dynamite.
I think we've got to get out of here regardless. Get a shuffle on.
Yeah,
I'm very good at shuffling, so yes.
Some wonderful shuffling, but
you can put your coat and your hat back on now.
Hats on, but the coat is on.
Oh, I say
in business time.
So just before we head off, Dr. Crawford, I think we need to cover up the mistake, we'll call it. Heart in the right place, wrong execution. I think we need to put the body of whoever this may be back with the other half and maybe just put some rocks over and make a sort of cairn.
Very well.
Perhaps we shouldn't spare the blushes of the dead by risking the lives of the living. We do that afterwards, Josiah. Come. We're too kind-hearted sometimes.
it's also, I think, also if we bring miners back here and someone they know has been,
Just put a sheet over it, it'll be fine.
we could put a sheet over it. That'll be we'll do that.
We'll collapse the tent then, shall we?
Moving rocks is quite time-consuming, and it's actually quite difficult, I would suggest.
So we're going to hide the body, are we?
We're hiding the body, yes.
Just in the tent, yes.
They don't know we sawed the legs off. I mean, you two sawed the legs off. We don't know. It's fine.
Oh, I could add that to me roster on me tricks. That'd be a new approach.
It has a lot of people's body.
Oh, it does.
So we're going to pick a tent, put it
back in the tent with the legs. Just put it back where we found it.
collapse
And
it.
collapse the tent.
Yeah.
Put that thing back where it came from.
We're putting it back in the tent. We're collapsing the tent. We're heading out.
Back to the Green Line camp as quickly as possible.
Okay, so you head back as quick as you can to the joining pavilion. Remember the boards Dave and Dave put up the wooden planks. They sealed you in. You go up to that area, and Dave and Dave appear to be missing.
I rattle the boards from the inside with the crowbar. Give it a. If we've done a little hand knock, I'll now do a rather loud knock with a crowbar.
Nothing. The sound echoes down into the empty pavilion area.
Can I try and crowbar the plywood off from the inside?
Go for it.
Okay. Do you need me to
it a
roll
roll?
or anything?
Would it be strike for break?
I guess so. Yeah, break. Yeah. Nope.
No.
Oh, no.
So the planks are nailed on the outside. So on the inside, it's you just can't get
Any
you can't
purchase.
get it in. Yeah.
I'll keep going hell for leather, just banging and shouting, and trying to make as much noise as possible.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything?
Can I
But
have
it's
a look?
watching behind us.
Yeah, I want to have a
The
like.
dark.
Can we see between the planks or anything? Is there anybody
Yeah.
on the platform or any?
No. It
Which
is empty
no.
and it is quiet.
Does anyone have a pocket watch? What time is it?
I did say I had a pocket watch when we first started when I was on the platform. So
You did.
What's the
Yeah.
time, Dr. Crawford?
I'll take my pocket watch out and I don't know what time is it, Dave?
What time did your watch say?
3:30.
There you go.
That's half an hour before the clock off.
But they've been pretty adamant that that is their job, is to stay guard.
So as you're talking, you hear ring out and it echoes down the tunnel the sound of a gunshot.
Inside our tunnel or the next tunnel?
The next tunnel.
Oh, shit.
Right. I shall now select my second piece of equipment for the campaign. I shall pull out from the inside of my jacket the helpfully labelled burglary equipment. And from within this burglary equipment set, because I'm saying it's in there, are 3 vials of acid I use occasionally on locks that I may not have the key for, because I've lost it, not because I need to get in, because it ain't mine.
Of course.
So I shall use those 3 vials of acid on the corners of the boards to try and weaken them, so that when I give it a next quite stout smack with a crowbar, hopefully it will come free.
Okay. So you start pouring those in?
Yep.
Okay. It does. It weakens it enough.
Okay. Then I will bash those boards until I can get part of my body outside and then use a crowbar in a more normal fashion to take enough boards off that we can get out.
Okay. So you get the one board off, you stick your head through, you get the next one off. That starts to come off, and then you hear footsteps running, and they're coming towards you. As you've got your head out, you see darting out of the Green Line tunnel is Dave and Dave, and they're running towards you. They look pretty alarmed as they come up to you. They've both got their own crowbars. They start digging it off. It's okay. It's okay. We heard
Dave,
some noises.
Dave, if there's one thing it fucking ain't, it's okay.
Look,
Right?
We heard some noises. There's stuff's going on.
Heard some
you
noises.
better get over
Yes,
there.
you could have fucking heard me banging on me.
One of you's
a
a doctor, yeah? I think we might need you, but then again, we might be
No,
too
but
much.
Now
I
he
don't
is,
know.
yes.
And you see the other Dave, he just starts ripping off the planks as well. Come on, we've got to go to the manager's tent.
Oh, I'm fine, Dave. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I've just been stuck in that tunnel in the dark for 10 minutes. But yeah, we'll run after you, lad. Don't worry. Lead on.
It's all right, darling. Don't worry about it. They're just
around the corner.
I'll run after them and be sort of asking what's happened, who's hurt, where are they hurt.
So as you're running with them, they explain there's something has been going on, and recent events while you've been away, there's been another disappearance. The teenage girl that you met, Mary,
Mary
has disappeared. The man you know as Chapel has been seen leaving the campsite. He's got some hastily packed belongings. And Brick, as you arrive at Brick's tent, you see there's a crowd around the outside of the tent. Dave and Dave they don't go in, they just hold the tent flaps open for you. And as you kind of you duck your head to get into the tent, you see Edith standing there, and there's a couple of other people, and Brick is sitting slumped in his chair. His head is back, and behind him on the tent canvas wall is a load of blood. In his hand is a pistol, and it looks like he's shot himself.
Well, is he can I go up and check if he's dead?
Everyone, as you enter the tent, everyone just kind of backs away.
I'll go up to Brick and sort of check on him, see if he is actually dead, or if he maybe did it through the side of his cheek by accident, or.
He's definitely dead. You can see the brain matter on the canvas as you get closer. It is fairly recent. You heard the gunfire, so it's been minutes since you've got here.
And the gun is in his hand.
The gun is in his hand.
Can in my pocket. He doesn't need this anymore. This damn man doesn't need a doctor. He needs a coroner.
Just a sleight of hand check if you want it. If you want to try it, try it.
No, I'm just gonna say I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing I can do for Mr. Brick here. Was anyone present when this happened? Did anyone walk in whilst he was still with us?
Edith steps up and says, "No, I didn't find a thing, but we weren't here. We just heard the noise. We came running. We found this." And she goes over to the table. She picks it up and she brings it over to you. And it is a note. I'll bring it up on screen and you can read it.
I, Jefferson Brick, ordered the blast of the red line. It was my decision and mine alone. I could not give up my ambition, but now the only thing that will get their screams out of my head is a bullet. Sorry, B.
So Edith got here particularly quickly, considering she was down at the front lines with all that drilling and everything. Can I do a read to interpret her kind of general demeanor and body language about this situation?
Yep.
Give you a drive for that.
Thank you. I'm also going to... I think I'm going to spend one on that one as well, so...
It's all very strange, all this going on, isn't it? It's very weird.
That is a success.
She doesn't hide the fact she never liked the man.
Mm-hmm.
She is somewhat surprised that he's taken his own life.
Okay.
What hand is the gun in?
With the right hand.
And can I do a remember to see if I remember when we were talking to him, whether he was left or right-handed?
Go for it.
If he actually did it himself, or if it was placed there.
Can I give a drive on that as well, and inspect the gun, just kind of like see if it feels freshly shot on, smells, kind of work out if I think it was hit with fire the gun.
I got a 6, and
Then don't know me at all. I'll just smell the gun for no reason.
Love the smell of gunfire in the afternoon.
I do.
Yeah, could I obviously whilst we were talking to him when he was looking at papers, was he did he have a pen, his right or left hand, etc. Is sort of what I'm thinking about, whether the gun we know for certain with it.
He is right-handed, or he was right-handed.
Okay.
Just trying to work out whether it was placed there afterwards.
If Arthur is smelling the gun, there's no real way to do that without some proper equipment. It's in his hand. It's in the right angle if he was going to do that. So it's just it's just a tilt of that, and then he's flopped down. So it could be when Arthur smells the gun. Yes, the gun has since cooled down, but yes, there is a smell. You can check the chamber.
Yeah,
let's say it's a revolver, 6-shooter, and one is spent.
Yeah.
How long ago did Chapel leave, by the way?
He was one of the first things we heard that. We believe that you meant when we met you. This is Edith talking. You said that you met Mary, and you said that she was packing up and heading back to camp. We left soon after you left us, so we were hot on your tails. We never saw her. So when we started getting everyone together to see if we could have a look around for her, at that point, Chapel has gone.
So it's been gone a while.
But we saw him take his stuff. We saw him leave. He was definitely drunk and definitely distressed. At some point after that is when we heard the gunshot.
Did Mary and Mr. Brick have some sort of special relationship? Were they close? She said she did odd jobs for him. When we saw her, she was digging something up on his express orders. So there was some trust there, but why now? Christopher got kidnapped, and quite frankly, when we spoke to Brick earlier, he made it seem like it was all a story that was being made up, that Rose was telling us a tale for attention. That Christopher might have been just hiding out in one of the tunnels for a bit of a lark. Why has he done this now? It seems suspicious to me. He's off. And it's not somebody else.
Suspicious. I guess we'll never know.
Bert is going to look around and he's trying to get a feel if he can sense anything supernatural in this tent, basically, just to make sure that nothing was involved in this otherworldly. So that's just a normal. That's it. Partial success with a 5.
Sorry, have a look at his hand, like the doc's hand. Have a look at his hand.
And Bert he'll start looking around the entire room, and he'll start with the body. But he's not interested in medical, so he's only trying to get a sense and a feeling of things.
I'm going to say after a few minutes, you don't get any sense of anything supernatural here. Supernatural or otherworldly, let's say that.
Can we see any kind of crack on the wall?
It's
a tent, isn't it? A tent. No, I forget. Yeah.
So what I was thinking, Bert, is how Dr. Crawford's got the stuff on his hand, and when we saw the water in the tunnel, and then Arthur Gray in the other tunnel, he heard screams in his head, didn't he? So do you think Mr. Brick may have had something on him or about his person, something similar?
I mean, he's been down here long enough.
I think, Josiah, that when you're responsible for murdering your own staff, the guilt can make you do terrible things. and better to take your own life than face that guilt continuously.
I think you might be underestimating the sheer bloody-mindedness of some people.
I think you might be overestimating the strength of the human mind.
No, trust me, there are some people in this world more capable of heinous deeds than you give them credit for, trust me.
And this was not one of those people, Josiah. Evidently. Don't mistake a strong body for a strong mind.
I'm afraid we're going to have to disagree on that point.
And he will wink you. No, as Josiah.
All right, do lads need a minute, or are we all right to carry on? So Doc, you've been hearing screams, right?
Correct. Yes.
Chapel was hearing screams. This fella was hearing screams. Screams is a right. All right. Here's a second. Good folk. I'm going to stick my head out of the tent. Is anyone who's been hearing screams inside their head recently? Just pop their hands up for me a minute, my darlings. That'd be ever so much appreciated. And I will use a sway on that if needed.
You can use a sway if you want to, but no one's putting a hand up.
I will try and use the sway. I think I'm gonna bring out my magic show gimmick again. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna bring out my second gear item. I'm gonna use my flash powder and smoke bomb to just cause a little poof, and then quickly move myself out like to get a bit more attention. Let's try that again, shall we, folks? Because it might be a matter of life and death.
I'll give you a drive. I'll give you a drive.
So I've got a gilded one on this one. Woo! Critical success!
Oh yeah.
Well done. They all look a bit bemused, but no one puts their hand up. They're like,
they've been underground too long. Ridiculous. That would have killed Vaudeville.
Bert puts his hand up. Just hands up like. It's just such a lovely show.
Well, thank you. You should come actually see me perform sometime.
Polly, Edith comes over to you. She kind of gets you by the elbow and kind of takes you a few steps away so that you two are alone. And she says, "So you went to the Red Line camp. Did you find anyone? See anything?"
There was a I'll bring out the photo frames.
As soon as you bring them out, she sees them, and you see the tears come out straight away. She recognizes them. Her entire mannerism just melts. Her facade. She's been strong for so long that this just melts her. And she grabs the photo frame and she brings it to her chest. Did you found them? Did you see her?
No. We found another, but we don't think it was her. They were wearing a big necklace.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It was the there's more than what I've been telling you. She opens up. It's like a silver gilded frame with the two sets. She opens it up and she touches the photo of Dot. She says, "It was several months ago. She was. I was preparing to join Dot down here on the Red Line. But I got a worried phone call. Dot said that the tunnel, it wasn't safe yet, and she asked Edith not to come. Sorry, she asked me not to come. She wouldn't say anything more. She said that the workers had found or made some disturbing findings. And she was worried. She sounded worried. She said something like, we were digging in a bad place. And after we said our goodbyes, I never heard from her again. Now look, thank you for bringing me these. You have to understand, with Brick's death, it means that I'm basically now in charge. But Waswood will be sending a team to contain this, so I won't be in charge for long. If you need to do anything, do it now.
I appreciate that. You know, I understand why you've maybe been a little less than forthcoming with us. It's understandable, but now is the time for action, and you've got a team that worships the ground you walk on. So we need some of your bravest and most capable, because we need to get through the cave and in the red line.
Right, hell. And just as you finish talking there, all of you hear a voice echo from down the front of the tunnel, from the drill site, from down that dark area. And it echoes, but it sounds like the voice of the teenager Mary Numpkins. And actually, there's a Steve, if you can make a note of this, we can feed this back. There is a spelling error. It's Mary Numpkins, but on this page it's spelled Mary Lumpkins.
Right.
Oh,
I prefer Lumpkins.
I
Yeah,
totally
I love
100% prefer Lumpkins.
Lumpykins.
Just sounds quite innocent.
So the voice you hear says, in a kind of nasty, twisted version of Mary's voice. Followers of Horus, are you as cowardly as your master? Will you let me feast on these sacrifices unopposed? And it repeats the message every now and then. You hear the same voice echo and shout down the tunnel towards you. Most of the workers at this point, everything that's been going on, their site manager has potentially committed suicide. There's another disappearance. Everyone is now worried. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and they are feeding through, and a lot of them just grab their stuff and go. A lot of them just start walking out. Edith is asking as many people as she can, and many of the workers, to stay, to help, and to secure the site. She manages to get about 5 or 6 people to stay. Everyone else is just leaving. Word is spreading. People are leaving.
Look, we need to get the other side of that cave in. We need to get to what was ever at the end of the red line tunnel. We believe that all the people that have been taken are still alive, that this thing is keeping them alive until it has enough to power up what it needs to do. Anyone that can help us get through, we're not miners, we can't do it ourselves, but if you get us there, we will do anything in our ability to save everyone that's been taken. All we're asking for is a few volunteers and some good ideas on how to get through that tunnel.
Edith,
I'll
seems
attempt,
to...
Do you need me to do a sway roll or anything
Go
like
for
that? I say that out loud to just anyone who's listening, okay?
I'll give a drive for that, and I'll just kind of end Josiah's rousing speech with another flashbang.
Alright, here we go. I'll use a drive as well, one of my own, so I'm going to roll 3 dice. That's a 6.
Woo!
Nice.
Okay, you see, like Edith is trying to rally a few people. They're not too sure, and with your speech, they will kind of say yes with the flash of smoke, like, oh yeah, power. So you managed to get 6 people confirmed. They grab their shovels, pickaxes, weapons. They get their hard hats on. They start tying up their boots. We're ready. They got like
can it be
drills,
7?
that kind of thing.
Can we have 7 instead of 6? Because I was just
Why?
totally picturing the 7 dwarfs then. Sorry.
And off they go.
We're just
going to get down the tunnel. Hi. Sorry, I've ruined the atmosphere there.
Right. So they're ready to go.
Now we've heard the
ready
word
to follow you
Horus.
into the dark.
Now Bert's heard the name Horus. Can I try and remember about that?
Go for it.
Cool. No, does not work. I can't remember shit. But what I'm going to do is
I can't give you any drive because I don't.
Can use resistance. One of my resistance points to roll again, and that's a mixed success on 4 on my gilded.
I was going to say, can I give you a drive as well by kind of saying that was the name. That was the name I heard in the tunnel. Is that okay? Do I want to do it?
Do you want me to roll another one if I can get that drive? Or I've used a resistance, so I can't add anyone else's drive to a resistance roll.
Right. Okay. I didn't realize.
You're on the right track. Basically, you also had that half a spell.
Yep.
So there was an ancient Pharaon whose name was Horus Volso.
That's the V then. So that's his amulet.
Hmm.
How'd you spell the surname, Dave?
Vulso. Volso. Horus Volso. And that is part of the diary that you had.
Do I remember? I don't remember anything else about Horus Volso. I can only remember the full name.
It's just a name, but basically, do you have any kind of? Do you study magical history, something like that?
Anything that could be linked to the occult, like Bert's actually been at this for about 40 years. So he probably has read most books about it.
Okay, so I'll say that Horus Volso was. You can estimate it's about 2,000 years old. And he was responsible for creating ritual spells.
Yes, I think I know who the amulet is. It's Horus Volso, and very old person. He would have been responsible for the ritual that we found, or half the ritual that we found, anyway.
What are you all doing? What do you want to do?
We're going to lead out a team of volunteers to the red line tunnel. Try and break through.
Rolling up my sleeves properly so they stay up.
Okay, so going up halfway further up the tunnel, you see that more of the lights have gone out. The bulbs have been smashed, or the lights have just stopped working. Some are blinking in areas. You reach the area where there is that crack in the wall. The crack is now looking visibly bigger. Not big enough for you to get through, but it's definitely bigger. And there is a faint red glow emanating from inside. So Edith and men are there. You've got 6 workers, not 7.
Surely this is the place to dig.
I agree, Arthur. This seems ominous enough.
Yes.
Is this the bloodmouth that we heard of?
It's potentially it's glowing red.
Mm-hmm.
The crack isn't glowing red.
There's a red glow
beyond.
I can see glowing red through that hole, that crack.
So, Christopher got taken down this tunnel.
Yeah.
Mary was close to this crack, and she never made it back to camp, and she never went to the dig face, and nobody saw her. So, logically, she's also been taken down this crack. Can we widen the crack so it's big enough for us to get down it? Can we blow it up? Can we dig it out? Can we make it big enough for us to get down the other end?
Are you talking to the crowd, or are you talking to just your party?
I'm talking to the crowd, to Edith. I'm taking any ideas from anyone. Look, this is your speciality.
You see, the guys have got the various drawers and stuff. 2 of them start hacking at it. We've got pickaxes. Just you got a sort of a pneumatic drill kind of thing, just trying to get in. It's going to take a long time. Edith kind of goes, right, you with me, and she continues on at a running pace further forward into the tunnel.
She's going to get the TBM, isn't she?
Some of us want to go with her just in case.
Yeah, Arthur's going to run after her.
I'll go with Arthur as well. Safety in numbers.
Okay. Yep. Anything you want to do? Anyone?
I'll just search around the tunnel area while the guys are manually trying to dig it out and try and see if there's any sign of Mary within this area from before. Something that would confirm that she has gone down here. That's a fail, but it is gilded dice for me, so I'll take the intuition point back for later use.
No, sadly you don't find anything.
Are there any more puddles in this area as well? Obviously,
you can do a search for it. Yeah.
2 4s. That's the mixed success, right?
It is. No, you do spot where Mary was working. She was putting the dirt in, scraping it from one area, putting that into another area. Searching over there, there's no puddles. All the puddles have gone.
Okay.
You hear from the tunnel further down, Polly and Arthur, you arrive at the again, this kind of steampunk, steam-powered underground drilling machine. These 3 massive kind of bits in them, drill bits, which all rotate independently on a cycle. She jumps up onto it, starts pulling all these levers like a tractor. She's got a big wheel. She starts spinning it, and you see this thing start to slowly rotate on its own as it turns around, and then she starts driving it back down the tunnel. There's space, there's handhelds. You can all jump on the sides if you want to, or you can run down with it.
I'm getting on that. He just jumps up with her.
Absolutely.
Driving in your tractor.
Let's go, Edie.
Is anyone using your torches? You got your torches on. You've got the workers with you. You've all got the hard hat and the head torch.
Yeah,
mine's poised to the touch
head torch.
So,
handheld torch I picked up.
Josiah, Bert, and Dr. Crawford, you hear the rumbling of this vehicle come down the tunnel, and as you look down, you can see these kind of the flashlights beaming your way as they slowly kind of get closer towards you. It takes a while for this big vehicle to get to you. She rotates it again.
Arthur's shouting to get out of the way, clear the way. If you can hear him over the machines, I don't know if you can, but he's trying to say, move.
Yeah.
Be careful not to dig too deep and hit the blood mouth.
The workers get out of the way who are kind of hitting trying to make the crack wider. Everyone backs up. Edith brings it in expertly, moves the TBM around. Again, this thing on its own, just in its stationary position, just rotates on itself. Lines up with the crack perfectly, and you just see it. She looks around at you all, waiting for one of you to give the signal.
Arthur just hits it on the back. So go.
Okay, so you're still holding on to the side of the machine. Polly, you still on the machine as well?
Yeah.
We're going.
The rest of you are around.
I'll take up position behind it, so like you see in the war films, all the troops lined up behind the tank.
Behind the tank, yeah.
Behind the tank, so I'm going to be behind the machine, following it down the tunnel.
I'm behind my tank, which is Josiah. So that's it. Just keep it protected.
Arthur, as you slap Edith on the shoulder, she's like, "Yes," and she wedges this massive kind of gear stick forward, and this thing starts spinning, and it goes forward. And as soon as these drill bits hit this rock, it starts to churn up. The dust is going everywhere, Josiah, you're at the back, but you're getting rained down with dirt and small bits of stone and everything else.
I've got a hard help. Safety first.
That will help. And everyone, you see these drill bits bore down into the rock. After a few minutes, it's going deeper and deeper into this thing, and this thing is huge. Okay, you've climbed onto it. This is going to make a big hole. Finally, it breaks through, but you see more red light, more glow as it appears as she widens this crack area, and she finally breaks through the final barrier. Boom! And it's almost as if the tractor, the TBM, the pushback it was getting from the rock is suddenly gone, and Arthur and Polly and Edith, you suddenly kind of jerk forward, but you manage to stay on. The light is emanating from this huge, from the right-hand side. It's 30 feet tall, an oval-shaped, red, glowing portal, as what you've described as a blood mouth. To the left, you see the previous TBM machine from the red line. Chained to the outside of the TBM, you see, let's say you see 5 people chained up against it. They are all kind of just sagging a bit. They've got no energy, and you see a small boy. You see Mary, as you recognize her, chained up on this thing. She looks up, she sees you all, and she's fighting back. She's giving it as much, it's me, be careful, it's not safe here. Around in the area in between and close to you, you start to see forms rise out of the ground are these amorphous grey beings. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of these forms start to come up. Long elongated arms, and as they kind of backpack into detail mode, you see that each of them is based on the various disappearances. One is a small boy, one looks like Mary, and they all scream and start running towards you all. You are now in the fight for your lives.
Arthur straight away pulls out his handgun from his side pouch and just starts shooting these creatures as they start running towards him.
Okay, so as you...
Sorry, did you say that the bloodmouth was here?
The bloodmouth is there, yeah. That's on the right-hand side, the far right.
And the TBM was
on the left is on there. You are behind your TBM. There's a big opening, and in between the TBM, in between the portal, and just in this vast cavern space, it's like a natural cavern, or at least it appears to look like a natural cavern. You see all these forms that's now starting to pop up, and they've all charging you.
Okay.
So let's do Arthur first. You said shot.
Yeah.
Take aim and do your attack.
Perfect. I'm going to use a drive on that. So I got, I don't know how to work it. Are we doing it per shot?
Yeah, do each one.
Cool. Then I've got a success on 1, success on 2. I'm going to say a mixed success on 3. I was just saying I went shot. Yeah.
Yep. So 3 different targets. You see the 3 of these grey ooze things. Each shot, boom, acts the same way. The bullet passes through harmlessly, doing no damage at all. You just see that, again, T1000, it blows a small hole and it just goes and repairs itself. It doesn't even slow down.
Well, it's not a question about going for the head.
These things are on you as quick as anything, so you're now all in a physical fight.
Right, so
also, all of them, you hear them a voice echoes from each of the grey people, and they're all saying the same thing. And it says, "Behold, and know that you have failed. I am the Bloodmouth, passageway to the beyond. For centuries I have been trapped here, starving and alone. But now my servants have gathered the food I need to move to another place. Perhaps the great city I sense above us now. Because there I will never go hungry again." And now into
But
combat.
immediately steps forward as it's saying that, and again puts his occult symbols, his tattoos together, and will say his Latin chant again. I won't say it all, but basically ended with Abite, and also saying Secor Nemo, which means I follow no one. And he will try and burst out, channeling the occult arcane energy.
Okay.
I'm going to use all of my 4 remaining drive. I quite like a critical success.
Go for it.
Cool, critical success. I got 2 6s, but not on my gilded dice. As again, this bigger flash of light this time, as he uses different symbols in order to try and push them back.
I am going to. So, as you got the critical success, I am going to say, there's. You see these grey forms all run towards you, and they've kind of picked on one each. Okay, but there's more of them than there is of you. So, a couple of people are going to get more than one. I'm going to say, in your blast, you cut down 3, and that's 1 that's coming to you, and whoever is on your left and right. It could be a worker, it could be Dr. Crawford or Arthur, for example.
Like Josiah would be right next to me, I think. So Josiah would definitely get one.
So these things are scrambling over the rocks, scrambling over the TBM. They are all just coming to get you. So you instantly, you kind of cut them in half, and they just shatter back into puddle mode.
I
What does
think
everybody else want to do?
as they've hit puddle mode, I think Polly is going to try and use the prestige. So she starts to change her appearance and is going to try and basically change herself into one of the puddle people that disappeared, and almost like take its place. So like I have to roll. Would you say this is high stakes?
Yes.
Fabulous. I'll use my cunning for that one then, instead of sense. That is a success, so I will take a bleed mark on that one. But you see her body starts to kind of like almost melt and reform into one of these grey kind of puddle people. And I'm going to kind of make my way over to the chained people and sort of act standing guard in front of them.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you stalk your way over to the TBM. Let's find out what happens in a little bit.
Okay, I would like to. Bert has cleared a bit of space for us in the chaos.
Yeah, this thing was running towards you, and Bert does his power.
Let's disintegrate it. Yeah. So I'm going to grab Bert by the collar, and I'm going to hide us both beneath our TBM, so we can take stock, look around, and think about where the real target is. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna burn up a drive to hide the both of us. I get a gilded dice on this one as well. That's success on the gilded dice, so I get a drive back, which is good. So I grab him, I shove him under the TBM and say, but that's really impressive and all, but I know it takes it out of you. I don't think the little ones are the target. I think that's the target over there. I point towards the Bloodmouth.
We just need to.
What did the diary say to do? He said he bottled it, didn't he? He bottled stepping into the void, or I can't remember.
The amulet.
Yeah, I'll shout. The necklace needs to go in the Bloodmouth, I'd guess.
we need the amulet, and yeah, he wouldn't step into the void. We need to use the amulet and step into the void.
So while you're discussing that, and Dr. Crawford shouts out, "The amulet, the necklace!" Dr. Crawford, where are you? Are you next to the machine?
I'd say that I went in behind it.
Okay, so you're with Josiah and Bert. You saw Josiah grab Bert. Now you're standing there alone. To your right, to the side of the machine, on the right-hand side of the machine, you see one of the workers. He's getting dragged by his legs. There are two grey people, two grey oozes, one on each leg, and they're dragging him towards their TBM. He's kicking and screaming, but they do not let him go.
Can I run over and sort of try and grab his arms to do like a tug of war almost?
Tug of war. Yep. Okay. So you run over there. You grab his arms. Do a check.
Guessing it's going to be a nerve of some sort, right? Control?
Strike.
Or strike, did you say?
You can do a strike.
I got a 2, which is a failure, I believe.
You failed. You grab them and they just turn around. And he's like, "No, save me! Don't let it go!" And you just his hand slips. Maybe your hand is still wet, but it comes out. Arthur, we're going to cut to you. So you're on the upper side of the TBM with Edith, and you see two of these things. One, it just like with its arm crawls up the front and goes for Edith. The other one is coming up the side and is obviously coming for you. What do you want to do?
Well, I've got the ability to I think it's called behind me, where I can spend one nerve and kind of choose an ally who I'm going to consider as Edith in this position, and kind of try and then kind of pull both of these creatures onto me that way. So the one going for her would never come to me. And at the same time, I'm going to kind of point to her and kind of insist she drives the drill machine towards the bloodmouth, while I'm now resting these two kind of creatures on top of the TBM.
Okay, so she understands your signal. She puts it back into drive. Everybody, you start to see the rumble of this vehicle as it kind of turns to face the bloodmouth.
Do you want me to do anything to contest these oncoming people?
Yes.
Like, just kind of put down as a strike as well.
Well, to strike it, you've got to strike back, but it is going to attack you.
Okay, nice. So in that case, if it's going to attack me, I'm going to use the move then.
Okay.
And I got a success to kind of dodge one of them.
Okay. And the other one
was a
you
partial success. Yeah.
Okay. This one manages to, so a partial success. This one manages to hit you, and it tries to grab you and dislodge you, but you've got a good grip on this TBM. You're not going anywhere, but you do take a body mark.
Okay.
It rakes down the side.
Does it sound like a...
Yeah.
In that case, can I then go to strike back as well? So can I? My intent is to like throw these things off of the machine.
Go for it. Yeah.
I'll do another strike on that one. I got a success on the first one, and I'm going to probably say that the one that maybe I managed to dodge from, I couldn't get. So the one that hit me, I'm just kind of trying to grab it, go off as well.
Okay. You try to grab it, but your hands, there's nothing to grab hold of. As soon as you try to apply pressure to it, there's nothing there. Your hands and arms go straight through it, and you go into like the face of this grey thing, and the grey ooze just goes straight up your nostrils into your mouth, and it's almost like forcing its way into any orifice it can find. You're going to take another body mark. Sorry, you're going to take a body and a brain mark, as this thing is now forcing its way into you.
Okay, the screaming from myself has intensified.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that was a kind of like a round. Polly.
Hello.
You've kind of successfully disguised yourself as one of these grey oozes. You make your way over to the TBM. What do you wish to do? You see Mary, you see the little boy, and you see several other people you don't recognise.
is there? Can I see? Like, is it? Are they padlocked to the TBM, or is it sort of like infinite chain?
It's a kind of an infinite chain. This is a chain that's wrapped round each one, wrapped round through any kind of loophole in this giant machine they can. They are all chained together as well. When you look behind you, you can see that there are two more of these grey things dragging a man across the dirt. They are going to be here very, very soon.
Okay. I'm going to then... I'm going to get ready for them to approach by taking out my final piece of gear, which is my hidden weapon, which I think is a small switchblade, which she keeps somewhere about her person, but a lady never tells. And I'm going to get ready to, as they're approaching, try and slash at them if they try and bring the body to the chains.
Okay. Who's up next? Josiah and Bert, you're under the tank, the TBM.
So let's get there, Josiah. Let's go.
Wait. We need to find a safe path. We need to get there definitely, but we need to find a safe path. I want to see how these things are moving. They're picking out targets. They have a purpose. You see, like that one there, he just dragged the worker and he's taking him to the TBM. The TBM seems to be the key. Now Polly's got that handled. We have to get there, but we have to avoid these things. We can't get in it. We can't get caught up with them. And I would like to burn an intuition point in Scout, and I'm going to ask the question: what path should we follow, which would get me and Bert from where we are under the TBM to the Bloodmouth with the least resistance, so we can avoid these creatures?
So you see on the left side of the TBM, you see another worker go down. He gets slammed into the side of the machine. He hits the ground on his back, and he kind of looks at you all. And you can see his eyes are wide, and he kind of takes in a breath to scream, to ask for help, to do that. But before he can do that, you see the grey ooze humanoid step over him, and these arms just go shoom, over his head. And it kind of drags his body along by his head. There's no hands, it's just one big blob of grey puddle. And very similar to what's happening with Arthur, the ooze is being forced into his eyes, his nose, his mouth. And it's dragging him physically by his head across the ground. And he's going up towards the TBM. So you've got... Don't go that way.
Yeah.
Go the other way.
Okay. So I signal that to Bert that we're going to run to the right of the TBM and take this path that I'm indicating to him to get to the Bloodmouth. Yes. My role is going to be Bert protection. Bert's the quarterback. I'm stopping anything that comes at him.
Not really a sport, does it, Josiah? But that's fine. Can I try and sense something while Josiah's doing that, of if they are picking targets or if it is random, to try and understand them?
Go for it.
Like roll a sense or a focus. A focus, I think it would be.
Go for it.
A failure on all of them, but I'll take the one from the gilded dice. There's too much going on, and Bert can't. Josiah's giving him instructions, and but it's just a run into it kind of thing, and he's ever trying to be sensible about this fight, and he's trying to slow himself down and can't figure out what's going on.
There's just too much havoc and screaming going on. You had 6 people, and there's 11 of these things. They've gone down really, really easy. The workmen are now being dragged. So you can see 2 workmen being dragged towards the TBM.
That's 2 less for us to deal with, plus the 3 you took out, so that's 5. They're down now.
Yeah, so Bert just puts his hand on Josiah's shoulder. I'm with you. I'll just follow you.
Okay.
So Arthur's currently getting dragged towards the TBM, right? By his head, you said.
No, Arthur is still on the TBM. He's with Edith. Edith is driving it towards the Bloodmouth. But you see Arthur get attacked. He's fighting 2 of these creatures. He got the one off of Edith to attack him, and he's outmatched. And now you see him, as he got hit, by one of these brute creatures. It's not a physical form. It doesn't like strike or cut as such. It can make itself hard or soft, but this is now you see like a hand, and it's just growing like liquid. It's just forcing its way, and you can see Arthur struggling. He cannot breathe. He's trying to swim as this stuff is starting to go down his throat.
I'm gonna climb up the side of the TBM and try and sort of distract it by just sort of punching into the mass of where its head would be.
I would say that I'll give you a bit of a bonus. You saw Arthur try and strike this thing.
Okay.
And they turn to liquid.
Yeah.
You're fighting water. You need to do something else.
I don't have any gear on me. Is there any anything like
around?
Is there like I'll pick up like a sort of hammer or chisel or something to try and.
You tell me.
Here, as I'm climbing up the side of the thing, I'm assuming there's some sort of digging equipment, like I reckon a big.
All
hammer.
the workmen were picking up spades, forks, sledgehammers, whatever you want to go for.
So as I'm climbing up the side of the TBM, I'll pick up a sort of sledgehammer and just try and swing into the one that's got Arthur by the face.
So you're swinging a sledgehammer, yeah?
Yeah, that's great. So I'm guessing that's a strike.
And you're staying on the ground, or are you climbing up onto the TBM?
I'm climbing up onto the side of the TBM as well.
So as you're climbing up, you're fine, and you just take a strike at this creature, the one that's attached himself to Arthur.
So that is a mixed success.
Mixed success.
Ooh.
Okay. Mixed success. Okay. You swing and it's a hit. This creature takes a big wallop from the sledgehammer. It seems to do a lot more than bullets and blades would do, and like just fists. This thing is heavy. It's got some substance to it. The mass kind of distorts this thing long enough to detach itself from Arthur, and Arthur like. But at the same time, Arthur is dislodged. This thing has yanked itself out of his face, like a violent vomit shooting out of him, completely bewildering Arthur. This thing is like pulling itself out of his eye sockets as well. He loses grip on the TBM and boom, crashes down to the ground. But you have rescued him.
Yep.
But you also kind of knocked him off with the force of that.
You're welcome, my friend.
A partial success. So now you're halfway up and he's on the ground. So you swap positions now.
Huzzah!
So with that, as you swap positions, the second one that was attacking Arthur comes after you with its big arms. Just crawls across the TBM and goes for an attack. Can you roll your dice?
Let's do a dodge. 4.
Okay, same thing is going to happen to you, unfortunately. This thing grabs you, and it's grabs you around the waist, and it kind of turns into the arms just mold into this one big watery circle around you, and it starts to squeeze. That's where you are. Arthur, you hit the ground as your senses kind of come back to you.
So I kind of so Arthur again. He gets back. He gets straight back up on the TBM again. He gets straight back up, and when he gets to the top, he kind of does a couple of things. First of all, he kind of brushes the blood off his face from being hitting the ground head first, and he looks around the room. And can he see Josiah and Bert running around towards the blood mouth?
You can see them. I'm assuming that you guys, you've got out from under the TBM and you're starting to run. Josiah, you're trying to keep Bert safe, so I'm assuming, are you still dragging him or just guiding him?
We're holding hands.
Okay.
So,
and where are you going?
I'm
so
leading,
from the TBM, what direction?
I'm leading with a crowbar, and he's a semi-belligerent teenager or something.
Oh. So what happens is then, so I kind of, I'm assuming Crowford probably kind of like let go of the mallet when he got into this like swarm of goo potentially, or there's no autography. So I'm going to grab the mallet and also pull the amulet out of my jacket and just kind of like shout to like Josiah, and kind of throw the amulet towards those guys running towards the blood mouth.
I've never had it.
No, you didn't have it. I wondered why you were getting there so quickly. So you now have it.
Because you've done what I thought you were going to do, and Bert does take his hat off his head and holds it out, hoping you've got good aim.
I can roll a shoot and see if does that count? To see if
Go for it. Yeah, it's an aimed.
I'm gonna use all my drive, and I think this is probably quite an important role.
This is important.
Yeah, you can hear the
Resistance if you need it as well.
Oh! I have a single 6.
That does it. You see, Bert take his hat off and he catches the baseball, catches the amulet. Okay. So Josiah, Bert, you have almost a clear run to the Bloodmouth, but there is a grey ooze in front of you. Polly, you're still at the old TVM.
Yeah.
And you see these other workmen. The oozes are just start to push them up and start chaining them to this vehicle. Crawford and Arthur and Edith, you're with the TBM. It's still trudging along. It's a slow mover. I made a reference with Steve about this before. We were joking about it, but in the Deadpool movie when they're in the ice hockey arena, just trying to run someone over. It's like this is it. This is like we're getting there. It's probably quicker to run. We're getting there. So yeah, what do you want to do? This is over to you, Josiah and Bert. It's your show now.
So you said there's one blocking our path between us and the Bloodmouth. So I'm going to start ducking and weaving, and the light in front is going to be swinging backwards and forwards and stuff like that. And then at the last minute, I'm going to snap the hard hat off my head and do the old
frisbee throw
of the hat off over in a direction, so it sort of runs in that way, and then me and Bert are going to dodge the other way. You're going to odd job it over that side, and me and Bert are going to dodge the other way. So I'm going to roll a distract check if I can.
Oh, okay, go for
I'm
it.
going to burn my single drive.
I will also give you my last cunning drive as well for that.
Thank you very much.
I really want this to work.
4 dice. So do I.
Make that 5. I've got a cunning to spare.
Oh,
Take
come
another.
Oh, I can throw one in as well, actually, thinking about it. I've still got those left.
He can only get up to 6.
Oh, how many you got?
Now. I've got 6 now.
I cross my fingers.
I've got a partial success.
Ooh.
So if a partial success is one of us can make it past and the other one gets caught up, I'll choose Bert to go past. And what I'll do is I'll like throw it and trip and fall into the thing and smother it so that Bert can run past towards the helmet.
I'll tell you what happens. In my head, what's been happening is you do the odd job, boom, and you take off the head. It cuts through the head, but the body keeps on running towards you. Again, I've still got this like T1000, but grey ooze version. And it just thunders into you because it can't see it, whatever. And it pounds you into the ground. Bert, you've got a clear area. Polly, you see Mary's in front of you. She's crying. She's like, "Let me get me out. Get me out of here now. Get me out." Dr. Crawford, Arthur, Edith, you're still trudging along. Watch it all go. You see another, and you're fighting these things off. So, Arthur, Dr. Crawford, the things that you were fighting, they are not dead. They are attacking you. What do you want to do?
Well, I think Mr. Crawford's a bit indisposed, so I get the mallet that he had, and I now go for the swan. Here's one as well. So can I tag team with these
Go
things?
for a strike.
Well, I've got normal drive in that because we've got the rolls. So, I would have got one back, right, because of the gilded die. Cool. I was one of them. I got a success.
Okay, you swing. Doing enough damage. This one dissipates. So this one, you basically just need 2 successful strikes, and the humanoid forms can't take it. It just turns into water. So you can now breathe. But the other one.
Right.
Say again.
So there was 2. Yeah. Okay.
There was 2. So the other one comes up and strikes you. You're both standing next to each other. Who's going to take the hit?
I'm going to say because Dr. Crawford is kind of like still stumbly, I'm just going to jump in front of him and take the blast.
Good guy. There we go. What a hero. So go. You can do your dodge.
I also have really good dodge, so it's a loaded.
You're the tank. I'm going to be quiet.
I kind of ran at him. I got a success on that one, so it depends on if that means I took the hit or if it means if I kind of took it and barreled away.
No, if you got a 6 and a success, then you've dodged the attack. It misses. That's fine.
Cool.
But you make the last few steps towards this hellmouth. As I said, this thing is huge. It's kind of oval shaped, glowing red, kind of liquidy, misty in the middle, 30 feet high, and you see like demonic faces appear and get pushed back in this form. Faces of people screaming and then kind of get pushed back into it. And every now and then you see like this claw reach out and then get pushed back. And you all hear this as the bloodmouth screams audibly in this chamber. He says, "Get away from me! Don't bring that atrocity any closer." And you see in the middle of this oval one form, like it blobs itself out.
Oh, of course it did.
This isn't one of the normal grey blobs. This blob is humanoid in form, has the long arms, but this one ends in claws. It has spikes all over its body. And as it looks at you, it vac-packs into the detail. It is you. You are staring back at a warped demonic form of yourself, all in grey form, but now with this red glow behind it. You immediately take 1 mind mark, just for the sheer horror of staring at a twisted form of yourself. And then it attacks you. So you need to decide what you're going to do. You can move or strike.
So I am shite at both. But what I will say is, as Bert's been walking across, he has unbuttoned his shirt and he is now shirtless, revealing even more occult tattoos. Like he's got a massive pentagram on his back. So he's got all his wards with him at all time. And he has put the amulet on now. And he will try and dodge. But I have no action points in this, so this is a lowest number roll.
Okay.
That's a 6 on one and 4 on the other, so that is a mixed success.
Okay, you tell me what you want to do.
So I think as he stands there, he will just say to this thing, he will like try to dodge it as it scratched at him.
Yeah, it's like Wolverine stance as it comes for you.
I have faced many things in my time, and I face the void in the name of Horus Vulso. And then he will start chanting in Latin to try and evoke the power of Horus. I don't have the Latin prepared, Dave, I'm afraid.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, come on it.
Just quickly Google it. It'll be fine. We can wait. We
have been.
This thing goes to attack you. So you haven't cast a spell. You're chanting. It hasn't. You haven't cast a spell, and this thing goes to hit you. Can you do? Well, you got a partial success, didn't you?
Yeah, mixed success. Yeah, so it worked, but also there's some consequences to it, isn't there?
Yeah. So you take this thing because of its claws and its long reach as it steps out. This thing is going to attack you, and across your chest, where you've got all your lovely tattoos, you see these 3 claw marks dig into your flesh. You take 2 body marks.
Cool. Is there any bleed involved with this creature?
Good. No. I'm going to say no.
That is a shame because I have abilities that would help there.
It's like they planned for it.
But then in a reaction, I will try now that it's attacked me, I will try to channel using my like runes and occult symbols to try and channel the power of Horus through the amulet. Which I've got 2 of that, one of which is gilded. I'll use my last drive for this. And if it doesn't work out, I will probably use my last resistance. I'm going to use my last resistance. Yes, that is a 6 on the gilded die.
Woo!
Okay.
As like the pentagram on his back starts to illuminate, I think, and glow and move on his skin, which is painful for Bert, but he's willing to take that pain.
Okay. And you're doing the same kind of magic blast you did before into this creature?
So I'm trying to channel the power of what is connected to the amulet of Horus, trying to channel that out using my innate occult ability.
So, everything seems to work. You've done the spell. You can feel the magic in your body because there's the pain involved. But the amulet doesn't connect to your magic. This is not how the amulet works.
No, I think I might have to go in here. And you'll say that very loudly.
Okay. The Polly.
Hello.
You are near the TBM, the original, and this thing has been sitting there chugging, and then suddenly it's almost like it starts to go forward. This thing is now loaded up with at least 12 people chained up and is heading directly for the blood mouth.
Okay. Because I've now got 5-foot-long arms in this appearance, can I use my extra long arms to kind of hoist myself up onto the TBM? Is there anyone driving it, or is it just like going by itself?
It's just going straight ahead.
Can I make an inspect to see where the sort of like central power in this thing would be?
Yeah, I would say the engine is probably at the back somewhere.
Okay. I want to try and get to the engine and take out my flash powder, and I want to overload the engine with my flash powder, like because it's old-fashioned sulfur and phosphate and all that crap, and I'm just going to dump my whole thing into it.
Okay, I like that idea. Immediately you start putting the engine is running hot anyway, so as soon as you put this powder in there, it starts to burn through wires and everything else, and then the huge amount of smoke comes up, and after a few seconds the machine just chuck and stops. Boom. But everyone is still attached to it, and then you see these forms which were near there, which were chaining the people up, which I think there was 3 now, just turn to face you, and then they move in.
Yep.
Crawford, Arthur, what do you want to do?
What are you doing, Crawford? What's your situation?
We're still up on top of the original digger, aren't we?
So you're fighting one. Ooze is on the tank with you guys, and you can look ahead. You see the portal, and you see Bert is there fighting this kind of spiked Wolverine version of himself. Josiah is on the ground, tackling another one. Is on top of him.
I'm going to try and make another swing at the one that's in front of us, first of all. Just can you do with what's in front of you, can't you? Really? 2, so that's a fail, right?
It's a fail, yes. It's a swing and a miss. This thing just sort of starts to move its way. It's like it's starting to learn how you fight. Arthur, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna also go for it, but I think that I'm gonna try. He's gonna try and free up Crawford. So if I can, I'm gonna go in and more kind of try to strain it. So if need be, Crawford can go and help Polly.
Okay. So you see, this thing
Well,
was
more of a grapple.
grabbing Crawford before anyway. It was like tightening anyway. So
Yeah.
he's there. You lunge in from the back. You're going to try to grapple the ooze.
Yeah, I'm kind of running at force. Like if
Yeah.
it was a person, it would knock him down. So
yeah. So you just there's not even control over this. You're just using your body as a blunt weapon.
Retaliating to the dodge and swinging back over again. With my
Okay.
body.
Roll your dice.
That is a partial.
Partial. Okay, so same thing that happened a bit earlier to you. You just bodily throw yourself at Dr. Crawford because you know you can hit him. And as you both tumble over the side of the TBM, the thing breaks contact. So it remains up there, but you free Dr. Crawford and you slam onto the ground.
Sorry, Edith. Sorry, Edith.
Edith's up there alone.
She is driving.
Josiah, we mixed up around, but Josiah, you're fighting this thing. This thing is on top of you. It starts to like put its arms and hands around your head, and it starts to push itself up your nose, into your ears, into your mouth.
I'm gonna battle it away. Get it off me. Try and destroy it if I can. So I'll make a strike with the crowbar.
Yep.
That's a failure.
Oh, okay. So as you're flailing away, you just can't get purchased. This thing, you're more concerned about what is going into your body, and you just can't seem to do anything. But over to you.
Oh no. But seeing that like his normal thing hasn't worked and realizing this thing is really frightened of this amulet, he will walk towards the bloodmouth wearing the amulet.
Okay.
And just see what the thing does.
You hear it shout out again or scream. No, no. What do you want to do?
Well, he will quickly survey and look around and see all the chaos going on. In for a penny, in for a pound, and he will go into the bloodmouth wearing the amulet.
Okay. Immediately, everyone you see this, the red disappears, and you see the shadow, the kind of bright white light, and then there's a shadow shape of Bert, and immediately you see all of that, and the blinding white light just fades itself into like a tight ball. The bloodmouth dissipates in a scream. All the ooze people around you just collapse into their own puddles. The one you're fighting, Josiah, is gone, immediately gone, and you just throw up all this gunk. Polly, the ones that are stalking you are gone. They just crash back down into their puddles. And you can come out of your form if you wish to, out of your disguise, your form.
Shrink my arms back.
I'm gonna run towards the bloodmouth. So the arch is still there, but it's now white instead of red. Yeah.
It's now a bright white light, which then collapses in on itself. Boom, and all you see is like a frame of a broken mirror. That's all that's left.
I will run towards that area, and whilst I'm doing that, I will pull from my pocket my last and third piece of equipment for the campaign, which is my bleed detector.
Yep.
And it's a broken compass. It doesn't point north. It points towards active occult energy. And normally when I open it, the needle is spinning constantly left and right, north, south, east and west. Unless I'm in the presence of something occult, then it will point directly at that position. I will charge over to that mirror and I will try and find traces of Bert. Is the needle doing anything other than spinning round and round and round?
You hold the compass and you're desperately trying to find any sign or signal that Bert is there or any energy. And sadly, there's not. Bert has indeed sacrificed himself, along with the amulet, to close the bloodmouth. With that, you see Edith turns off the TBM. A few of the workers hurry over to the original TBM and start trying to free the people who were kidnapped and held. What do you wish to do? You see the little boy, Christopher, as you know him. He is there. Mary is looking after him. One of the workmen who joined Edith is actually Christopher's dad. And you can see he runs over there. It's my boy, my boy! And he's just hugging him onto the ground as they sob and embrace.
I think Arthur would help Crawford off the ground and probably watch everything happening now around him. Waiting for something to just start making sense. Not completely knowing what Bert did, but knowing it's all just kind of stopped.
It's all stopped and virtually silent, apart from the various sobs and the people trying to help one another to get off of the TBM, to become unchained. And you see Edith starts to get organised again. Right, those of you who are able, support the ones who can't, and they start getting out. Edith kind of looks at you all, and you can see there is very much of a heartfelt thanks. I'm going to get these people back to the camp, and then we're getting out of here. I suggest you all do the same.
I'm going to brush myself off and walk over to Josiah and be like, did he go in? Is that what closed it?
The last I saw, whilst my eyes were filled and nose and mouth was filled with that creature that I was battling, was Bert step into the archway. The light shifted from red to white, and I could see Bert silhouetted in the frame, and then it just collapsed down to this. And I'll pick up. You said there was a ruined mirror frame on the floor. This is all that's left, and it's not magical anymore. So yeah, he stepped in. He killed the bloodmouth, and this is all we've got left.
A noble sacrifice, I would say, but
one that should be noted. I think we need to take this back to our chapter house and write the tale of Bert Carden and his sacrifice.
I agree.
So you heading back to the workers' camp?
We collect Polly first.
Yeah. Probably head over.
Polly's been there. She's helping the workmen get
I've been
unchained.
getting everyone out and things, and I think probably trying very hard not to look at the where Bert disappeared into.
Yeah, we head back to the Green Line camp.
Okay. As you enter the Green Line camp from your side, Edith, Dickie, the cookie's there, starting to organise water, drinks, food, whatever people need. First aid is dished out. She never left the camp. Edith organises people on those cots that you saw before, just lays them out, make sure the people are okay. The ones who are okay are okay. Everyone is obviously very visibly shaken, and some of the people who disappeared early on, which was a few days ago, they've had no food or water for days, so they look pretty weak on their feet, but you know the workmen are there to carry them away. As you're in the middle of this area near the mess hall, you see a group of people walking towards you. Now this is a team of people who are dressed incredibly smart, well-to-do. Suitcases, hats, and they're led by a very smartly dressed woman. She introduces herself as Ms. Pete, and she steps forward to you all, including Edith. One sec. Just turn that music down a little bit because it's too loud for me. There we go. Right, let's change that. And she steps forward to you all. And she says, welcome, investigators. Your work is very familiar to us. After all, Mr. Chappell wasn't the only former Circle member in our employ. So, let's talk about what's going into that report of yours, shall we? And she ushers you into the site manager's tent by holding it open. This is, as I'm sure, a series of unfortunate accidents.
Who are you? I know your name's Miss Pete, but who do you know?
I represent Waswood and Sons.
Oh, right. You're the management, are you?
I represent
Miss
Waswood
Management.
and Sons.
It was good, Josiah.
You represent Waswood and Sons. We represent what's left of our circle, minus one member due to an unfortunate accident. I suppose
I'm
you're
sure
here to
this
talk to us
letter
about our
will
report,
cover
aren't you?
everything. This is a letter of understanding that each of you will need to sign, and I'm sure that we can come to a monetary agreement to the value of your missing friend.
Me and the rest of our circle will need to confer for a few moments. You'll understand.
You see, she's not even listening to you. She goes over to Brick's desk, which still has kind of the papers all spread over it. There's splatters of blood all over that as well, and she just takes the pen, hands it out to you.
Shall we retire to the mess hall for a few moments while we discuss what this letter might mean to us all?
I think so, yeah. Got to read the fine print. Sure you understand, Miss Pete.
We'll be back shortly.
Yeah.
So when we get to the mess hall, so what do you think of this letter then?
I'm not quite in the business of selling my friends for money. I believe the report needs to be written about what happened here.
I'd agree. I don't think we can put a price on Bert's life, personally.
No. And I think, considering what's just happened, it would be quite the affront to Bert and everyone who's been working on this project here.
That's 4 for 4 then, so we're all in agreement we ain't signing the letter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you'll allow me, I'll go and break the news to Miss Pete. Why don't you three head up and I'll see you in a few moments.
Oh, can't I come and watch? I love you seeing you do your stuff.
It was more action rather than words this time, Polly. I didn't want to
Even better!
ruin your opinion of me.
Oh, the bar is very high, my dear.
I'm going to pull out a cigarette from a case I keep on the inside of my jacket. I'm going to go over to whatever stove is there at the moment in the mess hall. I'll light that cigarette, take a few puffs, then wander out of the mess hall and over to the corner of Brick's tent, where I'm going to artfully place the 4 letters that have been given to us by Miss Pete. I'm picturing one of the old expedition tents that are held up by ropes, and there's like the overhang and stuff like that. I'm going to shove the papers up into that overhang, and then using that lit cigarette, I'm going to light the letters. And then, as we wander away, they can smoke and smoulder, and hopefully, the tent will catch light, and she'll have a bit of a shock. It's probably the best I can do. So instead of walking away with the wind blowing and explosions going off behind us, we have a slightly smouldering tent in the background.
Some smoke wafting off. Yeah.
One thing, of course, as we're walking away, it's in slow motion, right?
Oh yeah.
To some kind of
Well, you get out of the tunnel and you make your way to the station. As you get higher and higher, you hear the sounds of the normal station above, and you remember that you walk up that the gilded staircase which has daylight above and the station up there. And you can hear hustle and bustle of people running around and children on the station, going to work, going on holiday, wherever they're going to. And when you get to the top of the stairs and you take a big, deep breath, clean air, and you look around at each other, it's just the four of you, as Bert sadly didn't make it. But you look down and you realise you're all covered in dirt and soot, and your feet and your shoes are just thick with mud and dirt from the tunnels below. And as you leave the station one by one, you all get the strange feeling that you're being watched. And we will leave our very first Candela Obscura story there. Thank you for playing. There we go. Go!
Ross continues the theme of joining us in a game and being horribly murdered by the end of it.
Well, no, in fairness, it's self-inflicted this time, which makes
It was
change.
the first time we ever met, the first time we ever played a game together, was also self-inflicted.
Yeah.
That was out of stupidity, though. That was my first in-person session. It was out of stupidity. This was out of this just feels right in the moment.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was very heroic.
So did you? How is it, guys? How was our first Candela? Was that okay? Was it good? We're going to do some other stuff in a minute, but as we wrap it up, was that good?
I
3 sessions.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Really enjoyed it.
Good. Right, we're going to say goodbye then. If, for those of you watching on YouTube, hopefully it's made its way to YouTube, do let us know if you liked it in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it with your pets, your friends, your neighbours, your parents, anyone in the family, anyone who's not in the family, the stranger at the bus stop, the weirdo at the bus stop, the person you saw yesterday. Just share it with everyone. Remember, like and subscribe. And until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Ta-da.